Hey, what's up, somebodies? What's up? There's no doubt in my mind you've already heard about Osama Bin Laden finally being killed. I heard it on the news myself a couple days ago, but I guess I didn't realize until I just heard it that he had been in hiding for 10 years. 10 years? He must have held like the Guinness World Record for hide and seek. It's amazing when I look back and remember September 11th. I remember I was still in school and I was sitting in a classroom when we got news that the first tower had been struck by the first plane. And I remember it was so funny because that early on nobody really knew what was going on, and I was thinking to myself, how do you accidentally fly an airplane into a building? Because all the reports we were hearing were saying that it was an accident. Nobody mentioned a terrorist attack. And I actually watched the second plane hit the second tower live on television while we were watching the coverage of the first plane crash. Shortly after, it was declared an act of terror, and then our country went to war, a war on terrorism. And even though the events of that day will never really leave my mind, I guess I had kind of come to terms with what had happened. I knew Osama Bin Laden was missing. I knew the US troops were doing what they could to try to find him. But at some point over the last 10 years, to be honest, I forgot. I mean, not about 9/11, but about the fact that we were at war and we were looking for Osama. And I don't know what kind of person you'd have to be running around telling everybody, I was the mastermind behind the 9/11 attacks. A nation as big as ours, a military the size that we have, you should have known we were going to find you. There are a lot of people out there that are very skeptical about this because it kind of came up all of a sudden out of nowhere. We found him, we killed him, we dumped him into the ocean. So a lot of people are thinking, well, you can't produce a body. They're getting all Donald Trump and wanting too much proof. I say I'm not sure if you can believe everything the government tells you, but I'm thinking we can believe them on this. But as the families of victims from 9/11 heard the news of Osama Bin Laden being finally killed, I'm sure they felt like justice was served and a little bit more at peace with what had happened. But from my point of view, to be honest with you, it's not over. He may have been the leader of this terrorist group, but he was just one of many. The damage that was done on 9/11 still greatly outweighs the relief that people are feeling now that Osama is gone. So it was but a small move in our battle against terrorism. But me personally, I didn't have any family that was affected by September 11th. But I do know that when I found out about Bin Laden's death, it made me feel kind of strange. I'm one of those type people that's probably a little bit too careful in life. I cherish life. It's a gift. It's too short and people often don't live it to its full capabilities. So here I am hearing that this terrible person who has caused all this stuff was dead. And the only thing I remember thinking was, is it wrong that I'm glad he's dead? I've never wished death on anybody, even my worst enemies, the people that really irritate me beyond all belief. I wouldn't actually wish that they died or anything bad, health-wise happened to them, even if they deserve it. But is it wrong? Does it make you a bad person if you're thinking to yourself, I'm really glad he's dead? I don't know. Just what was on my mind today. Let me know what you guys think in a comment or a video response. And as always, thank you for watching this episode of the Joe Somebody Show, and I'll see you in a couple days.